This is going to be a week like you've not seen from us in a really long time. Oh! Driving her Honda Civic, and she has never been seen again. Every vehicle that we find, we're going to make sure that it's clear.
You said you found a person?
Hey, that's not a Camry, is it?
This isn't even close to a Camry, Jared.
I'm just gonna say underwater. Okay, it looked like a Camry because as I'm over here, and I'll show you where I thought that it was and where it said it. C-O-R-V, it totally said Camry underwater though.
What's this?
What?
What's these four tailpipes in the middle?
Listen, I don't know Camrys. Maybe mom souped up her Camry.
Look at that.
Monster crawdads. That's dinner there. We got a couple of them on there. Let's just kind of go through how our week is going to go and who we're looking for and more details. So first of all, we have Julie Margaret Vessigault, and I'm sorry to her fans, friends, and family if I messed up the pronunciation. Julie was last seen in Elk Grove, California around 1:30 p.m. on Wednesday, January 23rd of this year, 2024. At around 12:30, she got to her mother's home, dumped her purse out, grabbed an ATM card and possibly a California temporary license, put the rest back in her purse, and without saying where she was heading, according to her mom's caregiver, Julie has done that before and she's always returned 2 or 3 hours later. Except for this time, she never returned. And so as we break down the day, and I was talking to the detective and the family, they said, even though she was having like car problems and some depression might have been going on, they didn't indicate that she would be, a self-harm individual. But, we have to look at every possible scenario because Julie and her car have not been found in 7 months. And so this boat ramp, the Clarksburg boat ramp, is the closest boat ramp to Julie's house, or to Julie's mom's house that we were talking about this morning. But while we're here for the week, we're not just looking at potential boat ramps, we're looking at, potential accident locations. And so while this side of the river has a lot of guardrails, the other side has a lot less. So, over the course of the next couple of days, we're gonna make our way down towards Walnut Grove and really run that side of the river, the east side of the river, up a lot more. But this trip also is going to be a lot different because Mickey and his company, A1 Towing in the area, and they are helping to pull out every single one of the vehicles that we end up hooking up to this week free of charge to help clean up the environment. So a big shout out to A1 Towing. They're doing it on their dime, we're doing it on our dime, so everybody's coming together to help clean up the environment. So if you need a good tow truck company in the Sacramento area, Elk Grove area, make sure that you look them up, support them like they're out here supporting us. We also have John Atkins. Now, John Atkins, quite the story, his kids reached out to us after seeing we found Arnell Tavares on accident a couple of months ago. And so what his son says, I just saw a Facebook post. My father went missing. He disappeared in October 1973 between Freeport and the Cortland Bridge, which is the Paintersville Bridge. He was driving a company vehicle, so they don't have any pictures of it because it was just a company rig, a GMC Sprint, and he was on a sales call. He had a heart condition, and we believe that he suffered another heart attack. Any assistance we can provide. So we're meeting up with Scott and his sister tomorrow, where we'll put in here at Clarksburg again and then we'll head up to the east side and we'll run up to Freeport. Now, Norma is also missing from the area. Norma and her sons Thomas and Richard, they disappeared from Sacramento on July 15th of 1978. Now, they didn't have air conditioning at home, and during hot weather, Norma would often take the children for rides in the car to stay cool. They may have done that on the day that they disappeared. How far does Norma go for a drive, and does she take River Road south on one side and take it north on the other, and she does a nice little loop to stop at a beachy locations like this and take the kids swimming for the day? So what we're looking for is a 1965 Pontiac Le Mans with a California license plate 254 SBI. So next up is Carmen Nilsson. She went missing November 20th of 2016. Now, she's also from Sacramento, California. So she was last seen in Sacramento, California at 2:30 p.m. on November 20th, 2015. She was driving southbound on River Road. So River Road right here, in a silver 2012 Honda Civic with the California license plate number 6XBB720. And then the last one that we're working on is Uriel Cantu, went missing November 26 of 2006 from Thornton, California. Now the thing is, and listen to this, he left, leaving the home that he shared with his girlfriend of 2 months. He was en route to Washington State to pick up a paycheck, but he only took enough clothes for 2 days. He's a citizen of Mexico and has no family in the US. So here's the thing on that one. Was he really going to Washington to go pick up a paycheck? How big was the paycheck? Was it even worth going to Washington to pick up a paycheck? Because that's going to cost you, I mean, back then, it's going to take you 2 to 3 tanks of gas each way. Again, I don't know how big the paycheck is and why it couldn't have been sent. So then it comes to, I have to speculate a lot on everything that we do. And part of the speculation is, did he even have a paycheck to go pick up, or was it just like, this was the end of the road for him to where he was lying to his girlfriend the entire time? He didn't have a paycheck, he didn't have a job, felt worthless. Again, I'm only making this up, I have no idea. And what if he ended up over here at one of these pullouts that we identified for Julie, where he could have just driven off into the river? So that one, we don't even have a vehicle associated with him, but we do need to be aware that we're looking for this gentleman right here. So, hey, we're going to return to the car being flipped, being put on the tow truck, and we'll continue on our day from there.
For families who have all but given up on finding their loved ones, this team is a last hope. Civilian divers cracking cold cases for free.
there's a car right there. Look at, oh! That
looks like a Sprint.
That's your Sprint right there. Wow. He disappeared in October 1973, but he was driving a GMC Sprint.
All right, this is varied quite a bit. What do we have here? A Ram 1500. So it's not the truck we're looking for. The window is down. Completely silted in, so I can't see if anybody's inside. This is a Honda Accord. Completely silted in. License plate is gone. This is not a California plate. Alright, there we go. Impala. Cannot get to the windows, so we have no idea on that one.
CSO says that looks like this one's stolen out of Missouri.
Okay.
And then the Ram sounds like it's stolen out of California here. So that's just more information on that one for you. And then what, like these cars, like say they're stolen, whether it's insurance fraud or just an insurance claim. What's the process for you? You know, like even if the insurance company paid out to you, are you still able to capture anything after?
So if the insurance company's paid the owner, then the insurance company takes responsibility of the car.
Right.
So once they're notified, technically they're supposed to pick it up. They'll pay the fees and pick up the fee.
Okay, so like yesterday, the Corvette as an example, Geico owns that one now.
So they'll be notified, and they're supposed to pick it up, whether they do or not. But by law, they need to register owner. They're liable for the insurance.
And then are you able to get reimbursed from them for that?
Yes, if they pick it up. We picked up a lot of these out of like Jay's Towing in Portland here. He used to drag the car up, find them, bring them in, and then the insurance company would pick them up.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah.
Okay. We had no idea about your father's case. It was so old that we just never been into it, but definitely the system. So the information that we're able to provide thus far, it's made us aware, so that way it's really changed the way that we're searching on this one. But with your father, you know, we want to be very specific in searching for him, that even after all these years later, with him going missing in 1973, there's still a chance that we can find him. So with that being said, kind of bring us into, you know, the story of your dad and, you know, what you remember as a kid, how old you were at the time.
I was 8 and don't remember a whole lot. I remember more after the fact, saying or hearing that he was supposed to be going down to what was Buckley Station for a sailor's call, or sales call. 38 years old, had a heart condition. That's about it.
and so he had a heart attack before.
Yes.
Just a lot of stress in his life, or is it hereditary in your family, or?
It's hereditary, heavy smoker.
Okay.
He was coming out of a stressful time.
Right.
I remember him looking for work for quite a while.
How old were you at the time? 10?
13.
13? Okay. Any other siblings?
Sister,
Okay.
who's would have been 11.
How do you feel like this, you know, has affected you through the years growing up, not knowing, like some families would be like, I'm just waiting for him to drive in the driveway?
I don't know that I really went through, at least to me, because I kind of kept to myself anyways.
Right.
So I don't know if I became more withdrawn or what.
Right.
But
Yeah, it's hard to tell. You know, once an event happens, you can't go back and know what's going to happen the other way.
Right.
Just that was the new normal, and that's how it was.
Yeah. How long before Mom was able to accept this, or did she ever?
I don't know that she didn't accept it. I know she felt the responsibility of having to raise their kids, and that was her main responsibility, was to get the 3 kids raised.
Right.
But she seemed to, at least in our presence, seemed to step up and be a parent.
That paints a beautiful picture for me, so that way, like I said, we can really focus on that side. So like I said, let me do that today. I'll put back in the boat. We'll go directly to the East Bank, Sacramento side, finish running the 5 miles here, and then I'll have a good report that I can share with you as to any vehicles and locations that we found throughout the day. Oh, that's a beautiful car.
This one's more concerning too, because there's a guardrail up there. I mean, if you're dumping a car, you're probably not going to dump it, somewhere hard.
Look at that. I think that's the Sprint. Might have one right here also. See the wheel? That's an old car too.
Alright, there we go. Right under the car. Oh, there we go. That might have a part number on there.
Yeah, the color on the Pontiac Le Mans by chance?
Gold or blue?
I have a blue one down there. But it's so old. Like, that's pretty much like the only salvageable piece that I found on there. Oh, we got a part number. All right, try a BN-703-1605-AW.
eBay, there's a listing for BN-703-1605-AW.
Yep.
For a Ford Mercury.
Okay. So not the car we're looking for then. Those hard finds for looking for John. I'm hoping this next one is John over here.
Alright, let this be John here. Huh? Is this the car? Nope. That's the bed frame. Alright, here's the car. Alright. Red in color. There's the top of it. And not our car. Dang it. This is why it looked like there was a bed of a truck. There's a couch right here. It's upside down next to it.
Hey Scott, it's Jared. Hey, so the one I was most interested in, it was what looks like an RX-7 with a upside down couch next to it, giving us that appearance of the long nose and then a pickup bed, is what that one was. The other one though that I went down on, what color was your dad's vehicle? Do you know?
I want to say it was white.
Okay, yeah. So yeah, that comes back to a Mercury part then. So that one, and it's also blue in color, not white. So. All right, well, that's the update that we've got so far for you today.
All right, let's see what we can find on this one. An Audi. No Audis on my list today. The door looks like it had been opened. So I'm going to say that they escaped. That's about all we can tell on this entire car. I don't have any part of the frame at all. Okay, this is also has that teal in color. Yeah, that's the only other part I can find on here.
It's a Chevy, part number Victor Bravo 55F 196558.
It's going to be a 1955 210 that was assembled in Flint, Michigan. I don't know it all other than we have a 1955 Chevrolet 210. Here, I was just looking for cars. The 210 that was missing, and here I found 1960 Chevrolet 210, Evangeline Silva from Brentwood, which we've determined is not far from here. They said they were either going home to Oakley or Hog Island. They're calling it a 1960 also. It was repainted white. Painted pearl white with a large dent in the tailgate door and mag rims.
Last seen in the evening of July 1977 in Brentwood Park. They had told others in the park that they were either going home to Oakley or Hog Island, which is just right down here. We're only like 6 miles from there. They got into Beltram's car and vanished. Beltram was reportedly seen by his brother the next morning, who did not see the girls, described as being lowered, painted pearl white with a large dent in the tailgate door and mag rims. Yeah, there's no mag rims on this. It was just regular steel wheels is what it was from the era.
Okay.
And there was only 2 of them though that I could see. Like only a quarter of the car is visible. The rest of it is buried.
So it keeps on saying a 1960 car also. And this is a 1955 on the tag. So no mag rims, and we have that discrepancy.
Oh, well, that's not. I mean, that's a 55.
Yeah.
That's not saying it's a 1960. This only this is saying it's a 1960.
Yeah.
And it's not the same car. But we need to now be aware of a 1960 car with mag rims. So what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and pull out that pickup truck from yesterday that we know is stolen, so nobody's inside. There's some sediment inside, but it's kind of, you can kind of clear it, but again, we don't know if anybody's in the very bottom of it. Yeah, I'm hooking up my other one first. Hold on.
Okay.
All right, now I need to pull it.
Okay, go ahead.
Now, the hope and the goal in all this is for it to stay on its wheels. It will definitely come up a lot easier if that is accomplished. There she is. Look at that. Came up just like we wanted it to. Did this west bank when we started, so let's do the east bank, and that way we've officially covered that entire section from Clarksburg boat ramp to the stairs. Nothing there. We're down further. Huh? Was that a car there?
I saw 4 tires.
Did you see 4 tires? There's a car right there. Yeah, that's a car that's upside down. Well, it is now morning time. So we're gonna suit up, go see what that car is that we found last night.
Pontiac symbol? I don't know. That is red in color. Back window is up on the driver's side. No, the driver's window is down a little bit. And it's not down enough for me to really get in there. My glove won't even go all the way in.
No, that's the old Toyota from the 70s.
Really?
Remember on the little pickups and stuff? Check it out, yo, right there.
You're right, that is a Toyota. So now the question is, do we have a red 4-door Toyota that went missing some 20 or 30 years ago?
So,
missing from Stockton.
Jose Cortez.
And Cortez was last seen at a local bar on April 3rd of 1992. So the car is indicative of the how long it's been underwater, which is 92. He normally stayed at a farm labor camp outside of Stockton. Mustache, what is he driving? 19. I don't think that's a 4Runner though.
They didn't exist.
No, it's not a 4Runner because
It's a car.
It was a car.
Now, I don't know why they're saying 4Runner. It never existed in 1975. Let's take 4Runner off of there and go with a 1975 Toyota and ignore 4Runner.
Right.
We're still in the game on that one.
100%. I agree with you. So I think that if you were to attempt to pull it, I think the car is going to pull apart.
Like, it would have to be like the most perfect pull ever, but I think that really you're gonna have to excavate it and see if this is the right car or not. The CSO is out at the office today, so on Monday we can follow up with her and have her get a hold of Stockton and get more information on it.
Okay.
All right, look at that one. Oh, wow. So this one could be Julie. Car number 1 for the day, which is actually car number 2, because we already dove car number 1. All right, there's the car. So that one's a little more buried. I mean, look at that one too, though. I mean, that could be a Camry just as much. There we go. That's solid. All right, we are on that one. All right, I believe we have 2 cars right here. One on the left and one on the right. There we go. There's that one. Now, I need that other magnet.
This one is what is it? Two-door car. There's a plate on the back or emblem. It's a Nissan. We're not looking for a Nissan today. Alright, the seatbelt is not engaged. Nobody in the front seat that I can see. Try to go over about 30 feet and run into this other car. Alright, there it is. We ran into it. No idea what that one is. Passenger side window is up. 4PWS436. California plate, 2018 registration. Alright, this is a Ford F-150. That's a Ford F-150. The driver's window is up, but the passenger window is down. It's an extended cab. Alright, this is white to silver in color. It's silver. We're looking for a Honda. We're looking for a Honda Civic. Oh, I think this is our girl. This XVB720. It's a Civic. I think we just found Carmen. Yeah, let me dive on this last one, see if it's Julie. Seven up. I don't think I have a 7-Up plate.
Hello?
Oh, good, you're working. Hey, so I didn't find, I haven't found Julie, but I did find Carmen Nilsson out of Sacramento.
Slow with it. It'll be the bank to decide what to do from there. Okay.
Yeah, I got a lot back there. You're all good.
You got a knife on you?
So the CSO just texted me. We're on our way up to go mark these 2 vehicles this morning and then rig these other 3 vehicles. But in the process, I have we've already passed the area, but she just texted me, said I was able to confirm the vehicle associated with the missing persons in Namus is a red 2-door Celica. No, it's not a Toyota Celica, if this is the right car I'm thinking of. So I need to ask her what she wants to do with that. All right, as far as the first one that we're pulling out this morning, she just texted me also, said I found no stolen record on the 7-Up J120 vehicle. However, it is registered to be to AAA, so it may have been stolen at one point but dropped out. So that's gonna be the first one we pull out, and so we'll rig right down through here and pull that one out. One's on the left, so that's the one we're gonna pull. That's the Nissan. Let's see where this other one is at. And there it is right there. Is that it? This area. All right, there we go. All right, next one is gonna be, we're gonna be able to see that speed limit sign. All right, there it is right there. Oh, this is the one that looks like a crossover. Yeah, this one's in like the top of the vehicle, 11 feet down.
This one, no plate on the back. It's a Lexus. Oh, go! Map 10, we're looking for Lexus RX 350. Oh no, that thing is found, so we're not looking for this one anymore. Completely silted in. We can get to the wheel so we can strap this and we can pull this one out.
So there's no plate on it. All right, let's bump me down to that next one, and then let's go rig that up for Mickey's here. I saw him already.
This is a must-owner car. So this should be Nora. This could be John. So let's see what we can figure out on this one. Alright, to the front bumper. So the front bumper has these kickouts. So they're very unique. It has 5 lugs on it. Yeah, frame's completely. And the body's completely gone on it.
Those are old. Yeah.
There we go.
intersection up here. Got this hooked up properly. That's to that one. The buoy's just there. Just attach that one.
It's right here. Alright, so that's it back up. Now, that J hook is still on. Let's take the other J hook. Make sure that it's still on. Okay, that was the one. Alright, let's get ourselves up and out of here.
Dude, that is completely full.
Alright, well, we'll see. These are tempered windows. Remember I was talking about, you know, like additional merchandise on our website? Like you saw us break the line. Well, additional ways we can pay for replacing that gear. Window breakers. It's not just to help us out with merchandise sales, but it's also for you, for safety. If you happen to be trapped in your vehicle, you end up in the water. You have a window breaker on your visor. Here's a visor clip. You just take it, it has a little pin that pops out, so when you push that against the window, it's spring activated. You can use this up to 10,000 times. So you just come here, push it, right out. open, they got gas. You and I could get dinner and not even tell Matt.
What a deal, $7.95.
Lots of warnings there. Imagine us going through there and then they close it off for the night and we're stuck. We're stuck over there. There is a vehicle right there. That is a really strange spot for a vehicle. Come on, stay on it. All right, I'm gonna gently take this to shore. Look at that car. Wow, I wonder what it is.
Don't forget to use that lanyard. Professionally installed by Cade.
It floats.
It does?
Yeah.
We'll see about that.
No, it does. He threw it in the water.
Oh, okay.
It sinks.
That is a car.
That was an older car.
Yeah.
You could see almost straight through that thing.
Look at that. That's like a station wagon. It almost looks like. All right, there we go. So there's the car, Hardly a current right here. Snagged it, just like that. All right, one more magnet. Let's see, that looks like a pickup, doesn't it? This could be Yuri Can 2, and that makes number 4, that we will dive all 4 of them in the morning.
All right, Carmen, what do you got? Whoa, I think that we found... Check this out! Oh, wait a minute. No, that's just a hood. Or is it a truck? I don't know. This is weird. I don't know what this is. Alright, Ford Escort is what it is.
No plate, seatbelt is not engaged. Loaded up to the, like almost up to the window though inside. So I mean, if somebody was, but I don't think anybody is in there.
Also appears to be a hatchback. Red in color. I've been down here about 30 years. Big back window here. So the window is probably 3.5 miles from the back window. So it's completely gone. I'll scoop it in. Oh, there comes the hatchback.
There's no markings, nothing to identify what this vehicle is, nothing on the side. No license plate on the back that I can get to because everything's buried. And then with some of these vehicles, like this one, sometimes they just become like way too old that we could rip them out of here. We're not gonna get all of them out of here. You might get the frame out. That's if we can get attached to it. 20 feet or so.
Ford pickup. Ford F-150.
So full of silt, up past the windows.
Silver pickup. Driver's window is up though. Get that door open. Oh, it's a Toyota Tacoma. We could have somebody in this one. I don't know, we gotta figure out this plate number.
The driver's door looks like it's cracked a little bit, but we all know about with water pressure and being able to push a door open. So were they able to get the door open and escape? Have a window breaker that's on your visor or on your keys, take it, you can use it underwater, pop it, and it will let you escape quickly right out of your vehicle. In the area with the main intention of Julie being the newest. let's bring Julie home. And so for the rest of today, what I want to do is only mark and identify any vehicles that I feel are going to be a Toyota Camry, not a Camry. Yeah, now I can see the wheel wells facing down. So that's an old car, about the same size as a Camry. That looks like a car upside down. Oh yeah, old truck or old car, right there. Let's call that our last one. I think what we'll do is dive on those 3 vehicles that we feel could be a Camry.
License plate on Julie is SBJ 4515.
All right, here we go. Ford.
Blue Mustang LX. Probably been down there, I'm gonna say 25, 30 years.
All right, we have a white car, Chevy. Oh, man, this is brand new. Camaro?
I think that if the other one is not Julie, then we'll rig this one. It's not gonna fall apart on us at all.
Maybe some older car. Pretty taken apart. Yeah, 30 years or so.
Head back, we'll hook up the Camaro, and then let's go run the river for like another hour or two.
There we go.
There's a car to the left there, like a Jeep Wrangler maybe. You know, this whole scanning at night when it's only like 80, so much nicer. That looks like a SUV. You know, I'm looking for a white Pathfinder also. Let's see, Moreno was last seen having lunch at 524 restaurant at Northgate Boulevard in Sacramento, California at approximately 11:45 a.m. on August 6th, 1998. Moreno was scheduled to open his new restaurant, El Manson Rio, in the 2100 block. 2 days before his disappearance, he had borrowed heavily to finance the restaurant and had been working towards its opening for 4 years. It was sold to another owner after his disappearance and it was renamed. Now, Moreno's white 1997 Nissan Pathfinder may have been seen traveling south on Interstate 99 between Stockton and Modesto, California on August 7th, 1998, 1 day after he was last seen. It is not known if the vehicle actually belonged to Moreno. Moreno had never been seen again, and the Pathfinder has not been located. His case remains unsolved. Let's see how close we are to the bridge. Yeah, we're still a ways down. All right, let's call it good then. Oh my goodness, 1, 2, 3, 4 cars right there. 6 cars, 7 cars. Oh my God. 8 cars, 9 cars, 10 cars. Remember the day before she was at Sacramento Executive Airport? This is the closest boat ramp on this side of the river without crossing the river. So I think if I just put my fins out, I'll be able to touch all of them. We should have it covered.
George, 559.
So I got a 6 BK. Two cars here. One's a Camry. It's a white Toyota. I'm guessing it's a Camry, but I have no idea. Then there's another car next to it, and I have no idea what it is. Let's give Mickey a Mercedes today.
We're getting good at this.
This has been one heck of a week where we have found one missing person, 47 vehicles, 10 of them we have removed from the river. We have one last mission today. On one of our first couple of days, we found a red vehicle that was upside down. You know, we have a local contact, a CSO, which is a community service officer, and they were able to verify, no, it is not a 4Runner we're looking for, it's a Toyota Celica. We're gonna start taking some pieces off of it because it's so buried, so silted in, see if we can identify this, and we just might solve that case from 1992 today. There it is. All right, so the big thing first to identify on this one is it a 2-door or a 4-door? Is it a Toyota Celica, if we can figure that out?
So the trunk is completely gone. So no emblems there. Back window. Back window. Front window. Now the window is up also. Very indicative that somebody could still be inside. Now this, see, he's trying to get the window down. So imagine somebody being inside, trying to get the window down and could never get it down. Did they make a 4-door Celica? Toyota 4-door square headlight.
All right, this is definitely a 4-door, red in color.
Here we got some stuff.
Look up an 80s Corolla.
Is that our? Yeah, that's it. Same trimline bar, but this is not deluxe, no chrome.
So we need to find out more from Stockton about Jose, or if there's any other missing persons cases with a 78 Toyota Corolla. Period. Well, while we're waiting for information on that one from the missing persons unit down in Stockton, as well as the CSO here locally, I just want to say we could not be doing this as an entire team. With you guys, with Matt here. We're not always good with our words, so we appreciate you tolerating us during those moments. But we also really appreciate you being here with us for the entire week, because simply by watching these videos, you're the ones that put us out here to come out here and help families like Carmen Nilsson, who we found on day 3, day 4 on this trip. If you weren't subscribing, if you weren't watching the videos, if you weren't going to adventureswithpurpose.com and checking out the merch and the window breakers and everything else that we have available, bringing it all together, we wouldn't be able to make this our job and our volunteer and our time off away from our families to be able to help other families in need. So we just want to say thank you for subscribing, watching the videos, and being a part of it with us. And hopefully soon we will have answers for you if by chance we solved another missing persons case that we weren't even aware of.